Hey there, Mr. Sutton here, bringing you the IM324 Extra Practice Number 1 solutions on factoring advanced trinomials. For this trinomial, since I noticed that my a value is not 1, I have to try taking out a common factor. It looks like I can't though, because 41 is not divisible by 3. So let me go to my AC method. 3 times 60 gives me an AC value of 180. And now I need factors of 180 that add up to 41. So let's see here. We've got 1 and 180 doesn't work. 2 and 90, no. 3 and 60, no. 4 and 45. Getting closer. 5 and 36. 5 plus 36 is 41. So I'll split this up into 5n and 36n, and those are being added in there. Now I'll use a little factoring by grouping. So I can take an n out of the first two terms. That leaves me with 3n plus 5. And then I can take a 6 out of the next two. That leaves me, actually I can take a 12 out of the next two. So that'll leave me with 3n plus 5 there as well. Now I can factor out that 3n plus 5. And that leaves me with n plus 2 left over for my other parentheses. On this problem, we have an a value that's not 1. And I can't fix that by trying to factor 10 out of everything, because that would leave me with decimals and fractions. So let me go to the AC method instead for factoring this. Guess and check's going to be kind of nasty because 18 and 10 have multiple possibilities, multiple factors. So let me get my AC value. 10 times 18 gives me 180 for the AC value, which has a lot of possibilities, but we'll work with it. So I need factors of 180 that add up to 29. So let me try them out. I know they're both going to be positive because it multiplies and adds up to a positive. So we've got 1 and 180 doesn't work. 2 and 90 is still too big. 3 plus 60 would be 63. 4 and 45 is too big. 5 and 36 still too big. 6 and 30, we're getting closer. That's 36. And I think the next factor that works, 9 and 20. Well, that adds up to 29. So I think we just found our factors. So I'm going to split this 29m up into 9m plus 20m. And now I can use grouping since I have 4 terms. My first pair of numbers here, I can take out an m. That leaves me with 10m plus 9. And then for the next two, it looks like I can take a 2 out of those. So that's going to be 10m plus 9 there as well. And it looks like, let's see, 10m plus 9 is my common factor. So that's going to come out of everything, leaving me with m plus 2 in the other parentheses. For this problem, I have an a value here that's not 1. So let me try taking out a common factor to get this process going. It looks like, let's see here, 6 definitely goes into 6 and 42. How about 264? Well, let's see here. Let me just divide it on the calculator to see what that would come out to. So 264 divided by 6 gives us 44. How about that? So yeah, I can take out a common factor of negative 6. So that's going to give me x squared for my first number in parentheses. This will be a plus 7x. And then we just saw that that's going to become 44, negative 44, since I'm taking out a negative 6 from everything. And now I just need factors of negative 44 that add up to 7. So 1 and 44 doesn't work. Let's see, 2 and 22, not even close. 4 and 11 will work, though, if I have negative 4 and positive 11. So I'm going to, let's see, write 2 parentheses. I'm going to have an x plus, or x minus 4, rather, and x plus 11. And I've still got that negative 6 that I have to bring down because it is one of my factors. On this one, we have an a value that's not 1, and we can't factor a 4 out of everything here. So let's go to the AC method. 4 times negative 36 gives us an AC value of negative 144. Now I need factors of that, negative 144, that add up to negative 45. 1 and 144 is not going to work. Neither is 2 and 72, still too big. But 3 might work. Let me see here. 3 times what? 144 divided by 3 gives me 48. Okay, well, if I had positive 3 and negative 48, that would give me negative 45 if I added those. So let me split this up then into plus 3r minus 48r. Now that I have 4 terms, I can factor by grouping. I can take an r out of the first two terms, leaving me with 4r plus 3. And then for the next two there, I can take out a negative 12, leaving me again with 4r plus 3. Now I can factor out my common factor of 4r plus 3, and that leaves me with the leftovers, r minus 12 in that parentheses next to it. For this one, we have an a value that's not 1, and factoring out a 7 is not going to work because 7 doesn't go into, well, really 54 or 16. So it's AC method or guess and check. And as always, I'm going to use AC method because there isn't a whole lot to show with guess and check. So we've got 7 times negative 16 for AC. That's going to give me, let's see here, that would be like 70 plus 42. That's going to be 112, negative 112. And I know that now I'm looking for factors of negative 112 that add up to negative 54. And I know the factors have opposite signs because negative 112, it's a negative here. All right, so let's see, 1 and 112, not going to get 54 out of that. And I might need to use the calculator in a minute, but I at least know 2 times something that gives me 112, right? 2 times 56, well, positive 2 and negative 56 would add up to negative 54. So I actually kind of struck gold early on here. I can rewrite this as plus 2p minus 56p in the middle. And now that I've split it up that way, I can factor by grouping since I have 4 terms. So for my first 2 terms, I can take a p out of that. Gives me 7p plus 2. And then I can factor out, I believe, let's see here, negative 8 from these next 2 terms. That leaves me with 7p plus 2 there as well. So now I can factor out that common factor of 7p plus 2. And my leftovers, p minus 8, go right next to it. For this trinomial, I have an a value up front that is not 1. So let me try taking out a common factor. Looks like these are all divisible by 2. So if I take a 2 out of everything, that leaves me with b squared minus 5b minus 24. And at this point, since the stuff inside has a squared coefficient of 1, I can just use my old method of factoring. So let me just find factors of negative 24 that add up to negative 5. So let's see, we've got 1 and 24 doesn't work, neither does 2 and 12. 3 and 8 might work if I have positive 3 and negative 8. So I've got the 2 out in front. I've got a b plus 3 and a b minus 8.